This is Raptor News. Christ versus Christ crucified. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified. We have two Christs in the Bible, each doing the opposite of each other. One is sent by God and the other is sent by the devil. One is the Christ and the other is the Antichrist. Let's get in it and show you the difference between the two. Luke 2:7, and she brought forth her firstborn son, and that's the Virgin Mary. And she wrapped him in swaddled clothes and laid him in a manger. Now we have the devil, Christ crucified, Revelations 12:1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, which is sun worship, and that is the morning star, which is Lucifer, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child travailed in birth. So one is given birth on the earth, and one is given birth in the heavens. And God said, do not worship the host of heaven. You got deceived. Christ crucified versus Jesus of Nazareth, Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Period. I was only sent to the men of Israel to bring them back to the Torah. Christ crucified, 1 John 4:14. And we have seen and do testify, whoever we are, that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. So he was sent to save the world, but the other one was sent to save the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to bring them back to the Torah. Not that he could save them, but to offer salvation. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified, Matthew 4:10. Then said Jesus unto him, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only, and serve him only, and him only shalt thou serve. You shall worship the Lord your God, and serve him only. He says, I, the Son of Man, did not come to be served. You can Google that and find that. The Son of Man did not come to be served. So you're not supposed to be worshiping Jesus of Nazareth. Now Christ crucified is a devil. Romans 14:18. For he that in these things serveth Christ is acceptable to God and approved of men, which is the false doctrine of men. Christ said, and laying aside the commandments, you are holding to the doctrine of men. The commandment is, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God and serve him only, as written in Deuteronomy. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified, John 5:30. I can of my own self do nothing. So God is all powerful, and he give his power to whomever he pleases, whenever he pleases. If you look in Acts, if you look into other verses, it said that God did all the miracles of Jesus. He did nothing. It's the same as with Moses, when Moses parted the Red Sea. God parted the Red Sea. Matthew 28:18. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in the heavens and the earth. Why would God, in Malachi 3:6, who says he don't change, all of a sudden give his power to Jesus, Christ crucified? It's not true. Then you got a powerless God in heaven, right? It will never happen. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified, Matthew 10:5. These 12 Jesus sent out, instructing them, go nowhere among the Gentiles, because they were doomed to go to hell, and enter no towns of the Samaritan. He told the Samaritan woman, stop following us. We don't give our bread to the dogs. And that's how he spoke to her. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Mark 16:15. Christ crucified, the Antichrist, the devil, the one who goes the opposite of Christ. And he said unto them, go you into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. When the real Christ said, don't throw your pearls to the swine, because they will trample them underfoot. And he was talking about the scriptures. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified. One is black and the other is white. Revelations 1:15 describes the black Christ. And if you watch my video, it's going to say, if you look for my videos, one of them is going to be that all the prophets that God sent were black. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in the fire. So he's a dark-skinned man. The other is white, sent to white people. Galatians 2:15. We are Hebrews by birth and not sinful Gentiles. So it's describing Gentiles as being sinful. That's the reason why I put that. Ephesians 2:11. Therefore remember that formerly you are Gentiles in the flesh. So not only are Gentiles sinful, but they are considered to be the ones who come in the flesh. Romans 8:3. God sent his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh. And so they want you to believe that Jesus came in the flesh, that he was white, if you don't understand the meaning of that. So one Christ, the real Jesus of Nazareth, was like fine brass burned in the fire. He was dark, just like Solomon was saying, I am blacker than the tents of Kedar, right? All the prophets in the bloodline of Adam were black, if you don't know. And Gentiles, no book was ever sent to Gentiles. You have to get that, or else you guys are going to burn. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified. And Jesus said in Matthew 19:17, why callest me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if you will enter into to life, which is the kingdom, keep God's commandments. That's the only way. And then he says he's going to tell the people who didn't keep the commandments to depart from him, right? And he's going to say, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom, only he who do the will of the Father. So it's those who are listening to God, and Christ is only going to tell you, he said he cannot speak a word of his own. The only words he can speak is with the words that God put in his mouth, like every other prophet. And then you got a Jesus that says, verily, verily, I say unto you, I'm the God. Who get that? That's the Christ crucified, the devil. John 4:16. Jesus answered, no one comes to the Father except through me. Which makes no sense. Why? Because how do you go to Christ to get to God? You know, when God said, place no gods in front of me, place nothing in front of me, God come first. This is blasphemy. And people got to understand that you are in a blasphemous, fake, pagan, infiltrated religion. Jesus of Nazareth versus Christ crucified. John 20:17. Jesus never ascended to heaven. Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father. And so what does it mean? That means that he was 3 days in the tomb, according to the Bible, and he never went up to God, not 1 ounce. John 19:30. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished, and he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. That means his spirit ascended to God. So one Christ ascended to God, and one Christ never ascended. This Christ says, no man can kill me. If no man can kill him, then he cannot be crucified. The other was sent to be killed by the world. So God would send his only son to be killed by creation, when that never happened any other time before. Neither did baptizing ever happen. Nobody in the Old Testament got baptized. This is blasphemy. And so I could give you more and more and more, but again, folks, you have to make a choice. You can keep believing in the pagan infiltration, that is the false image of the beast, or you could believe in the real Jesus of Nazareth. It is your choice. Anybody who believeth and maketh a lie shall enter into the lake of fire. What a dreadful choice if you choose Christ crucified versus Jesus of Nazareth. Some people want to do away with Jesus of Nazareth, period, because they know it's a contradiction between the two, as we just read. But you do not throw away your prophets or your people because somebody came in and infiltrated your books. This is Rap the News.